Here it is. So guys, it's a warm welcome in my third day session for Agile coaching and training. Today's session is understanding a basic understanding about users and clients. So what exactly user is and what exactly you want to know about the user and your client, and based on that how you have to work. So we will discuss it in today's session. So the agenda is, why do you need to learn about user? How many user types are available right now? I had taken here only the high level user types. Otherwise, there are lot many user types are available in current situation. What is the user persona basically? Because you may heard that there is a person's persona, or maybe the person who join any organization, that person have their own persona, but same thing happens with client or users also, like what exactly their persona is. So I'll provide you that information also. And did you conduct a user research before starting your work, or when you conduct your research? So there are some sort of stages which I will provide you with some sort of research and analyze data which are available on Google till date. So based on that research data, I'll provide you some sort of information. So we will start with our first slide. Why do you need to learn about? So guys, how to recognize your user needs, uh, design to meet your user needs, how to learn about user needs, how to include in research, understand user needs, agile and user centered process, what exactly it is, and make it accessible. So what exactly these 7 points, I'll tell you first thing. So first point is, what is how to recognize users needs. So giving a very simple example guys, if I am a business owner, I am doing some sort of business, maybe it's a small scale business, maybe it's a middle scale, or maybe it's a giant business. Say for example, I am a giant of oil and gas, or if I am a startup section, if I am working in a startup business, then maybe I am manufacturing a drone car. So that is a startup business, and I have some sort of needs which I have to fulfill from information technology industries or from software industries. So how to recognize what exactly your user is? So first you have to study what kind of business, particular business, that user is doing in market. What exactly the goal of that particular user in market, where exactly that user is targeting, or that client is targeting their end customer or their end clients. So you have to analyze those things. You have to first do your full deep study, your homework regarding the user. So this is what will provide you to recognize what exactly this user is. Maybe your user is from electronics field, maybe your user is from software field, same software field, maybe your user is from mechanical field, or from infrastructure field, or any other field. So you have to identify. See guys, when user is doing any kind of business in market, user has that kind of mentality. And when you are dealing with user, so if you want to connect the wires from your brain to user's brain, at that time you have to speak with user in user's language only. Say for example, if I am dealing with electronics based user, so my user or my client is working in an electronics industry, and they are working on some sort of gadgets. So I have little bit knowledge or good knowledge about the electronics gadget, and as well as I have to know what kind of business that particular person is doing. Based on that, see, every industry, in every work, there are some sort of heavy words. Now why I am telling you these all the things, because when you are dealing with your client, when you are facing with your client, at that time you are acting as a business role, as a business analyst from your organization side. And when you are communicating with your user, at that time you should know those heavy words which are daily those guys are pronouncing in their day-to-day life. In our, or I'm giving the example from software industry. So we are doing testing, we are doing regression testing, we are developing some sort of software, we have operation kind of things, we have a DevOps kind of things where development and operation is going hand to hand. So these are some sort of heavy words. And because we are part of software industry, so we know the meaning of these words. But outside the software industry, if I tell somebody these words, maybe that person looks towards me like he or she is looking like a ghost. So you have to know what kind of words are those and what is the meaning of those words. This is very important. Based on this, after recognizing, you can communicate with your particular client. Now, designed to meet your users needs. So when you are dealing with your client, you have a good experience or good knowledge about your client, about their business, about their product, and now you are provided the design end quality design from development phase to client's production environment. At that time, you should know where exactly this part of requirement goes in a client's environment and fitted. Say for example, I am giving a very simple example, guys. It's a train. Everybody has seen the train. So if I want to connect one bogie of train to another, or if I want to connect the rest of bogies to the engine, but I don't know how to connect it, I just do one thing. I just push the bogies on the road of train, and it just come near to the engine, and I thought that my work is done. No, guys, because train engine will run out and your all the bogies and everything will be staying there. So you have to know where exactly the last quality work which you are delivering from development environment to client environment, that work where exactly goes and fitted. Is it harm to clients existing product, or it is help clients existing product? How clients existing product will work with these new changes? So you know all these things. Based on this information only, you can design your quality work with proper manner and with polish work, and then you can deliver it to client. Once you delivered such work to your client, I will bet you guys this work will fitted in client's environment very easily. And once twice these things happens, then client will never bother about the work which is coming from you. Client will give you the sign off without measuring, without verifying your work, because client know, you know what exactly client is doing, where exactly the work is going, and how it is fitting in client's environment. So client is relying on you by heart. Now, how to learn about users needs? So guys, here again I am giving you example. I have a client, and that client gives me some sort of requirement related to their product. Now I want to know much more thing than whatever client is giving me as a information, because when client is giving you the information, at that time by default client is thinking that you know our product, you know everything about our business, and whatever requirement I am giving you, you know where exactly it is fitted. Now this is client's assumption, we can't change it, we do not have any power or authentications to change it. But we have a a good memory, good brain. So based on that, we will ask lot many questions to client. So client has given you particular requirement that I want some sort of functionality changes in my existing product. So you ask client where exactly you want that functionality changes, how the previous functionality is working, now what exactly you want in new functionality. After releasing this functionality, where exactly it is fitted. So after fitting this functionality in your production environment, what is the flow from start to end? Not only for this functionality, including this functionality, how your business flow is running from start to end. So A to Z, you have to know about that particular requirement. And when you learn all these things, at that time, you get the complete information from client. Guys, sometimes client is not giving you a full information. This is very true. This is very bad, but very true. That client is not giving you the complete information. So you have to ask them several questions. And after asking the several questions, whatever the answer client is giving you, based on that answer you may got the complete information. Or sometime you need to do a research also on client's requirement, and if client has missed something, you have to counter question to your client, ask them some sort of counter question and get the remaining information also. Now how to include these all the things in research? So when you are dealing with your client, at that time you have to do some sort of research, like what exactly business this client is doing, from how long this client is doing this kind of business, what kind of pain this client is facing right now. Maybe this pain is not related to the work which client is giving you, but still you should know these things, because maybe in future you got the business from this side, so this is somewhere a plus point for you. So you have to know the pain points of your clients. Now you have to know what exactly client is how exactly your client is dealing with their end customers, and are there any chances that you can make those process more smoothly also. Again, new business, you have an opportunity because you are a business analyst, and your job is to grab more and more business from client, get more and more money to your organization. So this is the reason you have to include your research when you are dealing with your client. Now understand your client's needs. Exactly. When your client is giving you some sort of requirement, at that time you should know why that requirement is needed. Does it client seen with any rival companies? Does it does this requirement comes from client superior mind, and this requirement is no longer available in the market and your client want to launch it first time? So is it a case? Does this requirement really required in your client's production environment, or you can provide some sort of much better idea to your client? Guys, this is also open option for you. When you are dealing with your client as a business analyst, at that time you have an open option that if client is providing you some sort of requirement, and if you have a good idea in your mind, you can just discuss your good idea as in a suggestion basis with your client, and ask them, do you really want if we implement this idea also with your requirement? If your client says yes, you got much more money on that idea, because that requirement doesn't come from client, you feeded it to client, and then client omitted it to you as in a requirement format. So here is a process. This is something where you are gaining more and more business from your client. You are conducting your clients communication, you are giving them a good repo, you are giving them a assurity, whatever the requirement they are giving you, you are fulfilling those requirement as per their requirement. Maybe you are giving them much more than their expectations. But one thing guys, here there is a risky point also. So when you are setting up such kind of impression in front of your client, at that time your client is looking from that point of view towards you. If you are failing in this area, maybe you will lose your all future businesses. So keep this in your mind when you are setting up the expectation to your client. At that time, make sure that your organization and your team have that capability that they will provide that kind of output. If your team doesn't have the capability, improve your team, improve their knowledge, update their knowledge, make them capable, and then deliver the output to your client and make it accessible. So these are the things guys which you have to learn about your users. This is very basic thing guys. Now, how many user types are available? So guys, these are high level user types. So few types I had given here. First type is unrealistic client. So guys, when you are communicating with this kind of client, you are not predict this client's requirement, or sometime you are unable to predict what exactly client is required. This is very unrealistic client. And sometime this client throw a googly on you and just watching you how you are going to resolve that particular googly. These clients are interested in business, but on 50-50% chances, because these clients already have other options also. And if you are failing in their googly type, they will approach immediately to another vendor. So this is the reason these are unrealistic client guys. Second is a VIP client, or it's a counterpart client. So this client is very big client. This client says money is not a big issue for us. We will pay you how much you want, but we want some sort of these requirements with quality and with super finishing. So these are VIP clients guys. And when you are approaching this client, make sure that you are very curious about their business. When you are talking with your client, at that time, whatever the words you are using through your mouths when you are communicating with your client, at that time you should monitor those words also. Maybe one of a single word which may be not important for you, it will hurt client or client's business team. So make sure you are very curious when you are dealing with these clients. If you provide a good repo and a faith to this client maybe provide you much more business, unimaginable business to you for longer time, maybe 10 years, 20 years business also. These clients provided in single sitting, that you have to work for us for next 5 years on so and so requirement. And these clients are ready to pay a very good amount of money. Now third client is a micromanager. This is some sort of very worst client guys, because when micromanager client approaches you, at that time these clients pay you okay, provide you a good sort of requirement, but this client always keeping their eye on the money which they are paying to you. So this client asking you lot many questions, like how you guys are going to work on our requirement, how many team members are working on our requirement, how much time they are working on daily basis on each and every requirement, what exactly going on yesterday, what exactly going on today, where exactly your so and so team member is working, what exactly that person is doing, why testing is late, why development is late, why your team is still stuck on blocker areas or on waiting areas. So these clients are doing very micromanagement in time sort of areas also, even on team members sort of areas also. So sometimes these clients are a big headache for organizations, but sometimes these clients also give a cream work to your organization, where your team members or your team may learn something new things which they can provide exposure in their other working areas. So this is the reason sometimes this client is really important. Fourth client is urgent client. This client is always in an urgent basis. When this client approaches you, at that time this client first line use that I do not have much time, I have so and so requirement. If you are ready to fulfill it, I am ready to make a business with you. Why this client is saying these things? Because previously this client is cheated somewhere, or maybe somewhere this client has given the requirement and that particular vendor is not able to complete those requirement in given time. So this is the reason this client is in urgent zone and provided their requirement with minimum time frame, and asks you, are you ready to fulfill our requirement within this time frame? If we are able to fulfill it, then we can grab this client. Otherwise, it's a management decision, guys. Now, we can deal with this client also, guys, if we are doing a smart work. Normally in software industry, the work is going on in three stages. First stage is today morning I reach office, today evening I am leaving from office. Within 8 hours I had some job, I did my job for that 8 hours, I done my work, I am leaving from the office. Second category is today I came office in early morning, I stretch my work till late night or midnight. I'm doing my job. Still, my work is not completed, and I'm doing the same work tomorrow also. In other language, guys, we called it as a bulwark. This is a very bad word, but this is true. And third is a smart work. These guys comes in office on time. Within 3-4 hours, these guys just verify what exactly they have to do. They just do their work smartly, completed their work within a half time, and remaining half time they are just looking what exactly they have to do or they will have to do in tomorrow or day after tomorrow. They analyze those things, they makes their notes. Next morning when they enter the office, they just read their notes, they just view their notes and started their work. Fifth client is NYCMNYD. Now what exactly this? So the meaning of this is now you see me, now you don't. So this client is a okay kind of client. This client when approaches you at that time, this client says now you can see me, because somewhere this client was approaches previously, after that there is a big gap, and then this client approaches again to us. So this client says now you can see me and I'm again back with my fresh requirement. You can work with me and you can fulfill my requirements. Now you don't. So if somewhere we are giving rigorously bad performance, or if client is unhappy with our releases or our deliveries, then this client says now you don't see me, now I am giving you just a tata bye and I'll approach with another vendor, and this client immediately ran away, guys. So this is something like. Now, six client is yes, no, maybe. So these clients are not exactly know what this client required. So these clients come up with requirement. Second day, this client come up with new requirement and says, whatever I told you yesterday, you just scrap it. And these are my today's requirement. These are very fresh and I need this requirement on urgent basis. Maybe tomorrow or after 3-4 days, this client again approaches and says, previously I given you some sort of 10 requirements. Within that 5 to 6 requirement, you have to scrap it because I have some sort of new requirement. This way you can identify this client doesn't know what exactly they required. And this is the reason this client, when you are working on their requirement, first this client says, yes, you have to work on these requirement. After some time, these kind of client says, no, you don't work on this requirement, because now going forward, these requirements are no longer to belongs with us. So you can just scrap it. Or after some time, this client again come back in picture and says, yeah, maybe you can work on this, but I'm not sure we require these things or not, but you can work on these things. If we require, we will accept it, otherwise you can scrap it. So this client doesn't know whatever requirement they given to vendor, those requirement after fulfilling, they are accepting or not, they are fitting those requirement in their production environment or not. So such kind of client says yes, no, maybe. So such kind of clients are like this. Now seventh type is behind the time. So guys, few clients are there in the market who provided you a requirement, and because of budgeting issue, because of money matters, money issue. This client says, okay, fine, Microsoft is charging you this much amount, so just don't use Microsoft. You can use open source technology, or you can use rather than using .NET framework or any kind of development framework which is a paid framework, rather than you can use some sort of freeware framework like Python or any other Java flavor. You can use it and you can just complete our work and provide us. Now, guys, if you are working on some sort of open source framework or any open source language or technology, maybe that technology was not updated from last several months, or maybe not updated from last 2 3 years. The same technology industry is using, and this is the reason client also says you also use the same technology. So this client is behind the time. Time is running, new technology is coming in the market, and most of the industries are started grabbing the new technology. But this client says because of budgeting issue, client never tell you that there is a budget issue. Client always tell you that we have a faith on this technology, so you may work with this technology and provide us the final output, so we will grab it. So this is behind the time kind of user or client, guys. Now, eighth client is a grasshopper. Now, what exactly grasshopper? So guys, if you know what exactly grasshopper is doing, grasshopper is sitting somewhere, immediately uh, change his place from one place to another, another place to another. Grasshopper never sit on a single place for long time. This client is also same, guys. This client maybe provide you some sort of requirement with budgeting. Everything is finalized. You started work on client's requirement, and suddenly clients come into the picture, say some sort of silly reason, and says we do not want to continue with you because we got some another vendor and he's ready to provide us a good result in a little money or in a small amount of billing, so I am moving back. So this kind of clients are always doing these things. This type of clients doesn't bother about quality, about time, and about whatever they are getting from the release. This kind of clients always required all the things within few hours or within few weeks. So if you are adjusting with client with quality, if you are just doing plus minus with quality, these kind of clients are always happy with that. These kind of clients only want the output, and if such kind of risky output they put it in their production environment, and if something broken, they immediately blames on you, pull out the entire business and move out. So this kind of clients called grasshopper client, guys. Now, psychological approach for clients. So how important the project for client? You have to think from this point of view. See, guys, if client is giving business, client required those business in their production environment. So that is the reason client giving that particular business to us. Now, how important that business is for client, we should also know. So this is the reason you have to do analysis while you are communicating with client, how much client is serious or client's business team is serious about the requirement which they are giving you. When client is giving you some sort of requirement, at that time what exactly client is expecting after releasing that particular requirement in client's production environment, how client will represent those things to their end customer, and how their end customer will deal with those requirements. You have to identify these things also, guys. These all the things are ifs and buts, but you have to identify these things, and based on your previous experience and based on the specialized person's knowledge, you have to come on some sort of point, like where we have to do deal with this client or not, or we have to leave this client. Now, how much time will client grant for your project? I am giving you a very simple example, guys. if I want to assemble a car, so I need at least 8 to 10 hours, because I have to first assemble the engine, then I have to assemble the infrastructure of car, I have to assemble their tires, tubes, I have to tight all the nuts, bolts, then I have to fit the body, I have to fit the seats, I have to check before releasing it. I have to check, is it really running on road or is there any issue. So I need to verify all these things, and for this I need minimum 10 hours. If my client is saying make it within 6 hours, it's not possible. If I am pushing 100 people, still it's not possible, because those 100 people may do some sort of mistake, which may be a production mistake identified after releasing. So this is the reason you have to communicate with client for time zone, and when you are dealing with client at that time, 30% time you have to add in client's time, and tell them that this much time we required. You have to add some sort of buffer when client is giving you a time, because you don't know about unidentified risk and mitigations. There are lot many permutations and combinations when you are working on some sort of requirements when it comes in your organization, and with these permutations and combinations, those many risks are also applied on those particular requirements. When you are working, when the show is running, at that time such kind of risk comes in front of you, and then you identified, I haven't identified this risk previously, now this is in front of me and I have to resolve it, otherwise I can't move ahead. So this is the reason that particular 30% time will applicable at that time, which you already pick in a buffer when you are dealing with your client. Now, does we are able to approach with project using agile? So guys, if you are working in agile, and if you suggested, maybe your client is not ready for that, maybe your client is pushing you, no no, we required waterfall. So you have to tell them a difference. What exactly good? Waterfall is good or agile is good. If it's a 3 months project, don't apply agile, because agile took 3 months to stabilize. So if it is 3 months or below 3 months project, don't apply agile. Go with waterfall. If it is above 3 months project, you can apply agile. So this is a basic difference you have to provide your client. Now, how you can provide more stable output to your client. So when you are providing a stable output, maybe your client is saying, no no, we are not happy with this kind of output, we want some more stronger output. So you have to work on those area. Maybe client is just running behind you, that I want this output on urgent basis or something like that, and you have to deal with that manner, or you have to communicate with your client that these are few things where we required some more time. If we push it on our client, or on our team members, maybe our team member will do massive mistakes, which will cause in your production and which will cause on your business also. So give us some time and we will provide you a concrete and good quality work at the end. Now, when you provided the good quality work at the end to your client will happy. He will provide you a good star rating. You are also happy. So this is the way you have to judge your client types, your user type, and deal with your client and user. Now, what is user persona? So as like I said, guys, there are user types. So if I am giving a simple example, I am a fashion model. I shoot some sort of photos in a photo studio, and I approaches to some sort of fashion industries or some sort of ramping industry where ramp walk is going on. So I provided them my photographs. At that time, I have to provide some sort of information with my photograph. We called it as a persona. Same applied with your client also. When you are dealing with your client, at that time you should know what is the name of client, what kind of product your client is running, what kind of technology already used while building that particular product previously. Now what exactly client want from your side, in which technology client want those requirement from your side. Does this new technology communicate with the older technology which is already existing in client's environment? You have to identify these all the things, as well as you have to identify from how long your client is doing this kind of business, who are the last or the end customer of your client, what kind of category those customer have, their thinking category, their using categories, like using product categories, so and so, and what exactly the budgeting of your client, what exactly the financial position of your client. Maybe your client have some sort of share in market, so you have to monitor what kind of share values from last 2 years and where it is fluctuated. Based on that you can identify this client will pay me till the last release or not. So you have to identify, and this is the reason you have to create a persona of your client. Why you have to create it? Because you are putting the true value, true information in that particular persona, and you represent that persona to your higher management. Guys, there are some sort of business intelligent peoples also available in industry specifically hire these guys. These guys verify such kind of persona, or these guys make such kind of persona for new customer or new client. And after their research, after their analysis, they provided their research and analysis report to higher management, that if we go with this client we will get benefit, if we will deal with this client maybe we will lose some sort of business, or maybe we will face some sort of uh, failurity or losses in our business. After that it's a client's it's a management decision, they want to go with that particular client or not. But these guys are working in lot many industry nowadays, guys. So this is called user persona, guys. You have to make it and represent it before starting work in front of your management. Now here is one of a sample I had given, that Steve is a person who has make a simple persona of a person with how he find us, like how client approaches us, where client find us, where client came to know or realize that we are T System or Deutsche Telekom is working in so and so area, and we are good enough in those area, we are specialized in this area, and only we can help that particular client in their requirements. So where exactly client got this information, what kind of pain points client is facing right now, and what exactly the target of client. Maybe sometime, guys, this happens in an industry, that client have different pain points and client have different goal. If these things happens, you have to match their pain point and their goal, and you have to set up a particular goal where their goal will also fulfill, their pain point will also resolve. So based on that you may get more business from client side, because sometime client is confused how to represent both the things in front of you. So this is the reason. Now what exactly client is, what exactly the client is doing in market, what kind of business client is doing, what kind of technologies client is using, or if client already have some sort of software or hardware, what kind of technology previously used in their hardware or software, and what exactly client required now, with which technology. If client have some sort of specific technology that we required our entire requirements in this technology only, maybe in VC++, C++, or Java, or Python, or SharePoints, or any other technologies, maybe Adobe development. So if client have such kind of thinking, you have to deal with client, that how it is fitted in client's environment, or is it fitted or not in client's environment. If forcefully we made it and fit it in client's environment, then what will happen? So you have to provide all the pros and cons to client when you are dealing with client. Now why client buys these things from you. Does clients already done their business review in market? Does client already identified lots of other vendors, also already communicated with lots of vendor, or client is still communicating with lots of vendor? So we still have fight, we still have some sort of uh, race with client or not. You have to identify these all the things, and based on these all information you have to make your one analysis report, put it in front of your management and tell them, now risk decision is yours, I done my job. After that maybe management will decide shall we go with this client or not. So this is how persona we can. Now guys, when we are conducting research with our client, there are some sort of stages, like research is there define, or ideas or prototypes, test or implementation. So these kind of stages are there. Now where exactly we have to do our research? So guys, as per my experience, I am always suggesting that you have to do your entire research before approaching the client, or if client is approached to you. So before dealing, before doing the final deal with your client, you have to done your entire research about the client. Whatever information you have, you can pull it out. If you required more information, you can pull it out from internet market also, or from other areas also. Now some industries are doing research. Mostly I'm saying 99% industries are doing research for their clients. But when, so there are stages. If you done your research before dealing, then maybe you are in a good shape, because you know what exactly client thinking, what exactly client flavor, what exactly client color, what exactly client thinking about you, about product, about their employees, about your employees, about the finance which client is giving to you. How exactly clients communication, it is a very good communication, fair communication, polite communication, or very random communication. So you know these things, and based on this you can deal with your client easily. But most of the industries, what they are doing, 72% of industries are doing their research before beginning any design or development, which is a good thing. 76% of industries are doing their research till they are started during designing or prototyping phase, which is really little late. 38% industries are doing their research and analysis during the development and coding phase also, because industry doesn't know how client is reacting on in any particular situation. Here I am giving you a unfaithful client, or a client who doesn't have any faith on their vendors, on their employees. So such kind of clients, you don't know when when they react and how they react, in which situation, what exactly their reaction is. So when you are dealing with such client, at that time you have to do your research till development and coding phase also, and still sometime you will not get a proper research report. Some industries are working in research and development area. 48% of organizations are doing these research and development area after development also, before releasing a final code to your client. If your client is in a negative shape, and if vendor says now we are not going to release anything to this client, maybe in vendor will make some modification in that particular software or in that particular product and release it to other client. This is a business, guys. So this is usually happens in lot many industries. 52% of industries are doing research after launching the product also, guys, because they still have a confusion, they still have a doubt. Are we deal with a correct vendor, are we deal with a correct client or correct user or not? So they are doing their research even after launching the product also, guys. So this is how the research is going on clients and user. So guys, here we will stop. Anybody have any queries, any questions, they can ask me.
20,000 users from very different customer groups. So we not only have one exact customer or client, we have a series of customers. How can you deal with that issue? Or what is the best approach there?
Okay, when you are dealing with series of customers and you are doing your entire business using Jira and Confluence, in Jira there is a functionality which we called as a component. So if I am considering these all 20 customers under one project, so I will make 20 components under one project, and each and every component I will attach to that particular user. Say for example, I have a ABC project, and under ABC project I have A to Z clients. Now in under my A component, I will attach those all the roles, requirements, responsibility of that particular A project related to A project and attach it under A component. When I am dealing with such clients through Jira and Confluence, at that time there is a functionality which we called as a filter. In that filter, if you add your component and if you sort your all requirements through components, then you may find for which user, which requirement you identified, where exactly that requirement is, what kind of status currently that require for that requirement is right now in Jira, and where exactly it is completed. Even if you required in a micromanagement also, it is also possible in Jira that who is working in which area of requirement, how much time that person has allocated to that or work on that particular requirement. You can identify these things in Jira. So when our tooling section will start from 13 days, at that time I'll provide you this kind of information also. And at that time I'll show you how we use these components to identify teams or projects under one project. So it's a tree diagram. Under one project there are 20 branches. For every branch I have one customer, and for every branch I had given a branch name under component, and based on that component name I can easily identify in which branch which requirement will go and what exactly that requirement is, what exactly the current status of that particular requirement is, and how to deal with that requirement.
And regarding the researches, you have to run as many researches as many customers, right?
Yeah,
Am I?
yeah. When we are dealing with client, at that time we can't do plus minus in our research. We have to do our research very strongly. So there is no shortcut which you can apply in research. You have to do hard research for all your 20 users, because you don't know which client will ditch you and when.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other query question, guys? This is a very simple topic, guys. I'm giving you a very simple example based on our today's session. So everybody has visited in a shopping mall. In your cities, there are a lot many malls available. Some small malls are available. Some larger or big malls are available. There are lot many shops are available. Few shops are specific. Like few shops are for mobiles only, for clothes only, for electronics gadgets only, for computer, laptops, or mobile accessories. So such kind of shops are there, and you are entering in that particular mall. So when you are entering in that mall, at that time think that you are a business owner and you have to fulfill your business from this shopping mall. Now what is your requirement? So I need a laptop charger of HP laptop with 70-inch monitor. So I have a number of my laptop. I also need a iPhone uh, with latest version, and I need to buy some sort of casual kind of clothes and shoes, but I want the clothes which are not heavier. The material of my clothes will be very good, and when I'm wearing those clothes I should be feel comfortable. So these are my requirements. Now I can't fulfill my requirement in one shop. So I have to visit different shop. Same thing client is also doing. Client will visit different vendors to fulfill their requirement. Client doesn't give you all 100% requirement. Client always give you 30% requirement. Some other organization gives 30% requirement. Some other organization gives 30% requirement. Maybe this happens that after giving these requirements you are dependent on some other organization, because dependent requirements are under different organization which client has provided, and you have to wait for them. So likewise, now when I'm entering in shop, at that time I'll see the quality material of product, and based on quality material I'll judge which material should I buy. Now when I'm buying, at that time I'm asking the question to my shopkeeper, how much what exactly the price for this material or for this gadget, like charger or maybe clothes or maybe laptop or maybe iPhone. So that person provide me the charges. If there is some sort of eve is going on, say for example Thanksgiving day is there, or Christmas eve is there, New Year is there, so I'm asking that shop owner, is there any discount which you provide me based on this eve occasion? Maybe shopkeeper will give you. So same questions client will also ask you, and you are dealing based on their questions. So this is all the things is based in today's session. Some peoples are visited shopping mall to just do time pass. Say I'm giving a very funny example. I have a girlfriend. I call my girlfriend at 4 p.m. And my girlfriend always given me time that she will reach on time, but she always took 1 hour or 1.5 hour late. And after that, she gives me some sort of nonsense reason which I accepted because she is my girlfriend. I know she will come late. So to do some sort of time pass, I seen that there is a shopping mall nearby the visiting place. So I just went to that shopping mall, and I am just doing my time pass. So I am visiting different shop. I just uh, ask the prices of different gadgets and different things. I doesn't want to buy anything. I'm just asking this them. I'm just looking what exactly good, what exactly bad. In future, if required, I will visit that shop again. So this is kind of some sort of user also, or some sort of client also, guys, which approaches you, and you have to identify the client who approaches you is really serious or not for business, or this client is just doing time pass, or this client is like a grasshopper just getting information from you, now comparing the same information with other vendor also, and dealing with third vendor, that I had information of this and I want to deal with you. Now you tell me what exactly your information is. So you have to identify these things, and based on this area, guys, I conducted today's session. Now again I am asking you the same question. If you have any query, any question, you can ask me. Anyone? Am I audible, guys? Yeah. Yeah.
Understanding or knowing the user, types of users and characteristics of users and so on.
Mhm.
In terms, you use the terms business analyst when you were describing it.
Yeah.
I just want to understand, is it in general, I understand it's necessary for the entire agile team and the stakeholders and product owners and
Yeah.
so on to
Yeah.
understand the user correctly. But what are we focusing here on specially? Is it essential for the agile coach to understand, to be in lead of understanding the users, or is it the product owner?
Okay. So the answer is very simple. First person who understand is a business analyst or business specialized person. Second understandable person is your management. Your management should understand this particular user. because if somewhere some sort of escalations happens, then management can handle it without pulling you in that particular escalations. Now next person is agile coach and stakeholder. Both the person should also know what kind of user we have and what kind of business we are doing with that particular client and what exactly we are dealing with that client. So your stakeholder also know, your agile coach should also know. If I'm replacing the stakeholder with product owner, then it's the same kind of thing, because most of the time stakeholders run product owner's role, because stakeholder directly communicated with client, get the requirement, get the changes, and communicate with client if something is delayed. So product owner is also in the picture. If after your scrum, your agile coach, maybe your enterprise agile coach, after that if rest of the person doesn't know, still fine, because your enterprise agile coach know all the things, and based on the situation your enterprise agile coach or your specialized agile coach, principal agile coach, can took a appropriate action and make the things uh, in line or under control, and try to avoid the escalations. Yeah. 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 Yes. Yes. Be- Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Yeah, agile coach is a key element in your product or in your project, because agile coach have massive powers. Uh, Again, here agile coach can't force anything or can't provide his decision in any areas, but agile coach always provide a good suggestion to product owner, your business management, even sometimes your client management also, provide a good and some sort of good coaching and training to your team members also. But if your agile coach doesn't know the background of your client, then maybe agile coach can make mistakes. It may happens. Yeah. Welcome. Any other queries? Any other question, guys? Anybody have any queries? Any questions?
Just again, thank you for your time.
Yeah. So thank you so much guys for joining my session. We will meet tomorrow, same time, same place. Guys, I'll upload this video today late evening on Yam, and I'll provide you all the link also by email. So thank you so much guys for joining my session, and we will meet tomorrow. Have a nice day and stay safe. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.